What's up, everyone? This is Rayuka, and let's talk DNF Duel. Was DNF Duel Open Beta a disaster? Oh man, so I'm going to give my opinions on all this and my thoughts and whatnot because I played the Open Beta. So, where do I begin? Day one, the Open Beta. First thing is first, it was tricky to gain access to this open beta. It was not easy because no one was explaining how you get into this open beta. Unless you went to certain Twitch streamers or you looked around the Twitter spheres or whatever, no one wasn't really talking because for what I can tell, everyone just wanted to have their first dibs in streaming it so that they could just generate traffic. It's ridiculous. But anyways, for those who are wondering, on the PlayStation Store, you couldn't, basically you couldn't log into your system to download it directly through the PlayStation Store. So the loopholes that a person had to go through, like myself, was checking the PlayStation Store through the website, or you can check it through the app, and the open beta was available there. It's strange that it wasn't available directly on the PlayStation Store where you just go into the console, it be there. So it was a strange process to gain access to the beta, but I gained access to the beta. And when I did, I streamed it on Twitch, went live, and I couldn't find any matches. And eventually I was droned. I was droned fighting the CPU. Basically, I was fighting the CPU at least on day one for a little bit before the servers just shut off or whatever the case may be. Now, there was a lot of people on the spheres of Twitter saying that, oh no, it's because a lot of people flooded their servers. That's why it crashed. Like, it just, too many people were logging in and DNF Duel, no one could play it. Look, I'm not here to shield people's favorite games or whatever. I'm not here to fanboy or kiss anyone's ass. I'm going to tell you my impressions of what I thought happened on day one. They weren't ready. They were not ready. They should have had tested this before even making it publicly available. So they shouldn't have had an open beta. But they were not ready. And that's why the day one was a disaster. So yes, day one was a disaster alone just because the servers were a mess. It wasn't because a bunch of people got on at once. How can a bunch of people get on at once if no one had any ways to really get access to the beta unless they were like digging around, looking around for information on it? Hello? So you had a lot of people out there shielding this, saying, oh no, it's because mad people were logging in and because of that, bam, it crashed. No, it wasn't because of that. It crashed because they weren't ready. So what does that mean when I say they weren't ready? Clearly they did not test their servers or anything like that. It was obvious. It wasn't because a lot of people logged in. I'm pretty sure there weren't even that many people logging in. Now, day one wasn't perfect, obviously. So move on to day two. Day two, yeah, you get matches. So whatever problem they had, they fixed it. Obviously, towards the end of the day, we're going into day two, and you could just basically set up a room or go into someone's room and have matches. And I have to say, it wasn't bad. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't bad. You get to pick the characters that you wanted to play with against other players. But what this open beta was lacking is a practice mode. There should have been something there so people can mess with the characters more, because for the most part, at least for me anyways, I was left guessing some of these characters' moves. The only one that I got used to was the Ranger, Hitman, and I believe Dragon Knight I was getting good with. I mean, there's some other characters in there, I wasn't really feeling Striker, but those are characters too that if there was a practice mode with, and I obviously can lab with those characters then to get a better understanding of them, then I wouldn't have such a difficult time, because for the most part, going into a player match and just randomly guessing buttons isn't as fun. But another thing to mention that I've seen a lot of people complaining about is that this is an easy mode game. Yes, I called it. DNF Duel is an easy mode game. For those who follow me on the Twitter spheres, I mentioned this. It is an easy mode game. It's not going to be a game that everyone's going to like. It's very simplistic. That's the that's the best way I can put it. And it's very spammy. That's another thing too. It's gonna be one of those games that you're gonna see a lot of people spamming. Clearly, that's gonna be a thing. I mean, given every fighting game has spammers, but I think DNF Duel is gonna be the nest for a lot of the spamming that goes on. But anyways, besides that, day 2 ran fine. The online was okay, even though there was some times that there was disconnects. So if I created some lobbies and then after a couple matches, it'll just pop out saying error and it'll just close the whole room. So clearly the servers aren't perfect or whatever is going on in the background. And day 3 wasn't as bad either. It pretty much was the same. So clearly their servers need work, but the game can clearly run online for the most part. Now, to give my thoughts, which for the most part I have been doing anyways. DNF Duel Beta in general, my whole experience, I guess, with this phase 1 of the beta, because I wouldn't be surprised if there's a phase 2. Was it a complete disaster? No, day 1 was a disaster. Yes, day 1 was bad. Day 2 was okay. Day 3 was okay. So the DNF Duel Beta was okay. That's it. It was okay. It was not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, of course, but it was okay. Now, are there problems with DNF Duel? Yes. It's obvious there is. I mean, I've seen so many people complain about so many different things, like how they couldn't connect the arcade stick to play on the PlayStation, I believe 5 version. How there were no practice modes or training mode in the beta, which I agree with that especially. Like there should have been some sort of training mode or something so you could lab, mess with the characters a bit to get a better understanding, because these characters in DNF Duel, they have these special cinematic finishers. I did not know how the hell to pull those off. I'm pulling off basic stuff, but as for like anything flashy, like a flashy finish, I had no idea how the hell to do that. So, it would have been good to have a, practice or training mode there to mess with the characters a bit and get a better understanding of said character, depending on which character you're gonna main. So for phase 2 of this beta, if it happens, which I wouldn't be surprised if it does, add a training mode or a practice mode so at least people can mess with the characters and get a better understanding of these characters, at least gameplay wise, how they function, because mashing buttons ain't fun in DNF Duel. It's not, and you could tell when people are mashing buttons, because DNF Duel is an easy mode game. It's very simple. One button can do a lot of things. Some even compared it to Dragon Ball Fighter Z. And to me, that's one of the turnoffs I had with Dragon Ball Fighter Z, was how simplified it was. You could do a lot of flashy shit with minimal effort. That's Dragon Ball Fighter Z. And I think DNF Duel is sort of going to fall in line with that bit, where once you get good with a character, you're going to be able to do a lot of flashy stuff, but with very little effort. And that's going to turn a lot of people that are into the old style of play away. It's just the way it is. So DNF Duel is clearly not going to be for everyone. The same could be said for Dragon Ball Fighter Z. It wasn't for everyone, but it is what it is. But for me, the beta was okay. Day 1 was a disaster, and day 2 and day 3 was okay. So the first phase was okay. Not perfect. Day 1 really left that impression. All that hype against KOF, and then time to show up, and it's just like everything got shut down. It's crazy. But overall, in DNF Duel, that's another thing I almost forgot to mention. It looks good. The game looks good. It definitely does. I hope that the full game itself does have a story. I hope it's not just here's a roster and just go at it all day for days. I am curious about a story, if there's any for this game. But anyways, that's my thoughts and whatever on the whole DNF Duel Open Beta. So at this point, it's just wondering when Phase 2 is gonna happen. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Phase 2 for this beta. Anyways, if you're new to my channel, feel free to check out the content here, of course. And if you like what you see here, why not hit that subscribe button? And if not, well, thanks for giving my channel a shot. Anyways, as always, this is Ryuki here saying thanks for watching. And until next time, everyone, sayonara.